Hello my friends, today we're going to be ranking and reviewing every single Hermes bag that is currently in production, which I think we have 17 Hermes bags to get through, so I better keep this intro short and sweet. But if there's anything that you ever wanted to know about Hermes bags, this video is for you. This is going to be my complete guide to Hermes's bags, including of course the most iconic and popular Hermes bags like the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance, as well as some more understated and underrated bags that I would love for you to become more familiar with. So if you'd like to hear the pros and cons of each one of Hermes's bags, which ones I think are worth your money and which ones are not, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. In case you haven't seen my previous ranking videos, I will make sure to have my dedicated playlist link down below for you. But we're using the same tier maker app that I always use. But if you're not familiar with this idea, we're going to go through each one of Hermes's bags and we're going to rank them on this tier. So the tiers go from favorite Hermes bags, which are the ones that we could call a must-have. I mean, I don't think that you ever need to spend this much money on a bag, but these are some of the bags that I truly think are worth your money and your time. These are incredible pieces that will remain a staple in your collection forever and ever and ever. And if you take good enough care of them, you can definitely pass them down to generations to come. Then underneath that we have great investment, which are the bags that are great to have in your collection, but I definitely don't think that they are the best thing out there. Then we have acquired taste, which are bags that may or may not work for some people, but these are definitely not pieces that I would go out of my way to get my hands on. And then last but not least, we have bags that, pass. These are the bags that I don't think are really worth our money and definitely not our time. So without further ado, let's dive straight in. And the first bag that we have here is going to be the 2424 bag, which is actually not, well, it's a relatively new bag for Hermes, but it's been out for, how long has it been? I think it's been about maybe 3 or 4 years. I think it walked the runway for, and I might be wrong about this, but I think it was pre-fall 2019 when this bag was first introduced. And as soon as it walked the runway, people went crazy for this bag and they started mentioning it as an alternative to a Kelly bag, which if you're familiar with Hermes and the Kelly bag, you know that it's not really similar to a Kelly bag. It will definitely not add a similar facet to your collection as a Kelly bag would. It is quite different. The only similarities that the 2424 bag and the Kelly bag share is that they both feature single top handles, and then some of the 2424 bags will have a shoulder strap just like most Kelly bags do, but that is pretty much it. If you know Hermes, you know that this bag is more similar to the Toolbox and even maybe the Lindy. I don't know why, but I would definitely compare this more to the Lindy than the Kelly bag. But anyway, we're not here to compare bags, but to talk about the actual individual bags. If you're not familiar with the 2424 bag, it does come in 3 different sizes. It comes in a mini size, which is the 24-24-21. It comes in 29, which means that the base of the bag measures 29 centimeters. And then it also comes in 35. The mini bag does come with a really long shoulder strap that you can twist and turn to make the bag into different things. So you can turn it into a crossbody bag, a shoulder bag, a backpack, a belt bag, a ton of different things. I don't really think that the mini 2424 works as most of these things. It is trying to be too many things and it's kind of spread too thin. I think if you're going to get the mini 2424, you're mainly going to use it either as a crossbody bag or maybe as a backpack, but you have to be really careful because it is quite a small bag. So if you are quite broad-shouldered like I am, it's going to look just out of proportions on you. So it mainly works as a crossbody bag. The same goes for the 29 bag, which does also come with a shoulder strap, and then the 35 doesn't actually come with a shoulder strap. It is exclusively a handheld bag, which I do like this bag. I don't really have anything against it, but would I spend my own money on it? I really don't think so. I just don't think it is the most well thought out, elevated design. It is definitely a lot more casual and a lot more slouchy in nature than some of the other Hermes bags that we'll move on to, which if you're looking for a really simple, everyday, casual Hermes bag, you want something slouchy, something really soft and squishy, this might be a bag that you want to look into, but it is just a little clunky in some places. That's how I feel about this bag, and how I feel about this bag when I see it on someone. Some people can pull it off beautifully, but it is just not the most elevated design in my humble opinion. But the quality is going to be outstanding. The leathers it's made of is of course going to be beautiful, but you have to keep in mind that it might be a more casual bag, and it is also going to be quite heavy even for an Hermes bag. So for me, the 2424 bag is going to be an acquired taste. Moving on, here we have an icon that you will need no introduction to, especially if you watch my channel, which is of course going to be the Birkin, which let's just quickly count how many sizes it comes in. So it technically does come in a size 20, but mainly in some of Hermes' exceptional bags. So size 20 is the smallest size, but when it comes to the regular range, it is going to be 25, which is not only the smallest, but also the most popular Birkin size currently. Then we have size 30, 35, and then 40 in the traditional Birkin range, not mentioning the HAC, which of course goes up to 40 and even 50. But sticking to the Birkin, I do have a dedicated video, well, many videos on the Birkin, but I recently did a video sharing some of the downfalls of the Birkin bag that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to this particular bag. So if you have always dreamt of owning a Birkin bag, but you're not quite sure if you want to spend the money because it is a ridiculous amount of money to spend, I would highly suggest that you check out the video of mine. I'll make sure to link it up here and also in the info box, where I go through not only the pros of the Birkin bag, which a lot of people know about, but also some of the downsides of owning a Birkin. So make sure you check that out if you are contemplating adding a bag to your collection. But to me, it is one of the most beautifully crafted bags. It is truly like a piece of art, and as much as I criticize this bag for being a little bit overdone these days, mainly because of social media, which I cannot really complain about that much because I am a part of the problem, clearly, it is still a bag that I go back to time and time again, and it's not because of the iconic element of this bag, which of course I very much appreciate it, but it's more about the quality and the way it feels to handle and use this bag. There's nothing quite like it. But before you pull the trigger and add one of these bags onto your wish list, consider some of the downsides or some of the cons of this bag, which are not often talked about, but it is still going to be a bag that I find to be an amazing investment. When I said that I wanted to discuss some more understated Hermes bags, this was one of them that I had in mind, which is going to be the Hermes Bolide. It's a bag that I rarely, if ever, hear anyone ever talking about, even though I think it is a beautiful, timeless, quite old school bag. But if you're looking for a really traditional, elegant, timeless shape, this might be something that you want to look into. So the Hermes Bolide does come in not only a ton of different sizes, but also different structures. So there are two different structures of the Bolide bag, one of which is the Bolide 1923, which it's named the 1923 because that's the year that this bag was first created. And it's actually the very first bag to ever feature a zip closure. This was specifically designed by Hermes for longer trips that people started taking back then in their car. So it was specifically designed for longer car trips, and it just remains to be a beautiful, timeless bag. So if you are looking to get it in a more structured shape, you do have the option of the iconic 1923 shape, which to this day features a zip closure. And then you have the other Bolide, which is a little bit more slouchy, and there are a ton of different sizes starting at mini sizes, which I do love. If you love the Mini Kelly but you cannot get your hands on one, if you're not willing to spend the money on a Mini Kelly, or you find it a little bit too overdone or loud for your liking, or maybe you already have a Mini Kelly and you're looking for another alternative to add to your collection, the Mini Bolide is one of the most beautiful yet underrated mini bags in Hermes's range. So that's definitely something that you can look into. Then the next size up would be 25. There's 27, 31, even 35, and then it goes up to a size 50. So you have plenty of sizes and structures to choose from. Personally, it's not a bag that I ever considered just because I don't really think that the shape suits me, but if it suits you, if you're looking for a truly timeless, iconic, classic shape, one that will never go out of style, it is an amazing piece to invest in, and it will be one of the best investments you'll ever make into your collection because it is a bag that will last, honestly, lifetimes. Another Hermes icon, part of the holy trinity of Hermes bags, as I like to call them, the Birkin, the Kelly, and here we have the Constance, which is honestly one of my most favorite Hermes bags that I own. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this bag because I do have a dedicated review on the Constance bag, which if there's anything that you want to know about the Constance bag, my thoughts, the pros, the cons, mod shots, honestly, everything that you could possibly want to know about this particular design, I will make sure to have my review on the Constance bags linked down below for you. But it's not going to be a surprise, it is definitely a favorite of mine. Next up, the Della Cavalleria bag, which is definitely a newer launch. It's one that walked the runway a few years ago, but I think it only started hitting stores maybe last year, and it's a bag that was definitely on my wish list, but I never ended up adding it to my collection, even though it's one of the bags that was offered to me for Christmas. There were two bags that I was asked about before Christmas if I would be interested in, one of which was the Della Cavalleria bag, and believe it or not, I said no to this bag. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I do love the idea of this bag, but I don't personally think that it suits me. Perhaps because it is quite a soft bag. It doesn't really have any angles to it. It is really curvy and sort of rounded, which makes it a really pretty but quite delicate bag, which is then paired with this oversized metal buckle, which is of course in the shape of a horse bite, and it pays homage to Hermes' equestrian heritage, as most of their bags do. So even though it is, I wouldn't say that it is an understated bag because the buckle is quite in your face, but it's not nearly as widely recognized as some other Hermes bags. So if you're looking for something that is a little bit more under the radar in terms of the branding, but will still add quite a bit of bang for your buck to your collection, if you don't mind a bag that is a little bit softer, that has more rounded edges to it, this is really a great one to look into. There's nothing I would say that I don't love about this bag. I just think it's a little bit too rounded for my personal liking. Maybe I'm a little bit too broad-shouldered for a bag as soft as this, but if you're not, honestly, it's a bag that you cannot go wrong with as long as you want something that is a little bit more casual and laid back. If you're looking for an everyday bag, which the Della Cavalleria bag comes in two different sizes, in a smaller size and then also in a slightly bigger size. I think it's 18 and 24, the two sizes that it comes in. It does have an adjustable shoulder strap. So if you're looking for an easy grab angle crossbody bag, which is of course made of the most beautiful divine leathers and is put together like a piece of art, it is definitely a great bag to look into. Personally, it's not for me, so I'm going to say that it is an acquired taste because I think it can definitely work for a lot of people out there. Let's move on to a cult favorite, which I think obviously everyone knows, the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance, or most people know, but I feel like just as many people are familiar with the Evelyne bag, which is the one that we have coming up now. It's a bag that I had looked at before, but I never bought until earlier this year. It's a bag that I tested, I trialed, and it wasn't really for me. I ended up buying it in the TPM size, which I think it comes in 4 different sizes. So it comes in 28, 31, and then I think maybe 40 is the largest size that it was ever produced in, but it's not a size that I've seen in quite a while. So do keep in mind that it comes in several different sizes, different structures. They do play around with this bag. They often release it with a special limited edition strap, but the classic Evelyne 3 bag is the one that comes with a wide canvas strap and is usually made of a really soft grained skin like Clemence. But it's just simply not a bag that is for me. It is basically, or it was, I should say, Hermes' take on a gym bag. It was designed so equestrians could take all their essentials to the stable. It doesn't have any lining to it. There are no pockets on the inside. It just has this age detail technically on the back of the bag, which was used as sort of a solution to dry things that are inside. So if you threw your sweaty horse riding clothes in there, if you threw your boots or your helmet in the bag, it wouldn't start smelling. The idea is that these perforated dots would allow the air to flow in and out of the bag, so it would never start smelling bad, which does make it an amazing practical everyday bag, but personally the design and the shape is just not my favorite. So for me it is going to be a bag. I mean, just because I know that so many of you love this bag and you use it on a regular basis, I'm going to say that it is a great investment, because if you own this bag, you can truly get your money's worth out of it. It's one of those pieces that you can easily use every single day as long as you want a more casual bag. But personally for me, it's just not a bag that to me is worth the hype. The next bag on our list is going to be the Garden Party, which is a bag that I talked about and reviewed in, I think it was in a recent video of mine. I want to say it was the video where I talked about Hermes bags or Hermes pieces that I won't buy, which pretty much sums up my thoughts on the Garden Party, even though it's a bag that I should love in theory, because it is a really understated functionality first bag that is, you know, it just does what it says on the tin. It's a practical everyday tote bag, which I love the sound of. But in reality, this bag I just kind of find awkward, you know, when you're spending this much money on a bag, which is thousands and thousands of dollars. You expect the bag to add something to an outfit, whereas I feel that this tends to do the opposite. Instead of it adding something to an outfit, it does the opposite and it takes away. It has the tendency to make an outfit look and feel a lot more tired. It looks kind of awkward and clunky, and I just don't think that it is worth your money. It tends to drag an outfit down, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone where I was like, wow, that bag is something that I need to add onto my wish list too. Not that people cannot pull it off, or you cannot make it work, but for this kind of money I expect a lot more from a piece. So for me, the Garden Party is going to be one of those pieces that I don't think you should waste your time and definitely not your money on. This is going to be a quick one, the Hermes Get Up bag, because I recently talked about this. I think it was in my last Q&A, which was either the video that you saw before this or the one before that one. So definitely check out my last Q&A, because I know we talked about the Hermes Get Up bag in that one. All I can say is that if you're looking for a simple, easy crossbody bag that is almost like a modern take on a camera bag, this is one that you'll very much enjoy. Personally, it is not for me. So for me, the Get Up bag is going to be an acquired taste piece. But if you want to know more about this bag, definitely check out my last Q&A. And the same goes for this next bag, which is going to be the Her bag. If you watched those Q&As of mine, you know that the Her bag is one of my most favorite Hermes bags. And stay tuned, because I do have a dedicated updated review on the Her bag coming up. So if there's anything you ever wanted to know about this bag, please let me know in the comment section. Leave me all your questions, anything that you want to see regarding this bag. Let me know in the comment section so I can make sure to touch on those points in my upcoming review. One of the most recent launches from Hermes for fall winter 2022 was the In the Loop bag, which is basically, I think I said this in my review on this bag, my original review, that to me it felt like a more elevated version of a Picotin, which it's really simple. If you love the Picotin, you're going to love this bag. If you never liked the Picotin, because of the shape, because of what it does to an outfit, you're not going to like this bag either, because it is a really similar idea, shape, and it's going to do something really similar for an outfit that you match this with. But let's quickly run through the differences between this bag and the Picotin, because whatever you know about the Picotin bag goes for this bag too, except that this one comes in only 2 sizes, whereas the Picotin does come in 3-4 sizes, including the new micro Picotin bag. But obviously the main difference is going to be, well, the fact that this bag to me is a little bit more well thought out. It does feature the Shandong inspired handles. It is not locked. Well, I think it would be an overstatement to say that you can lock the Picotin, but you can taper the top of the bag with this lock detail, whereas this one comes with a little fastening on the inside, which again is inspired by the Shandong detail. There is a tiny pocket on the inside, which the Picotin doesn't feature. And then unlike the Picotin, which does come with little feet, this bag doesn't. It doesn't come with any feet. Instead, it just has a Shandong inspired firmer base, which I remember a lot of you mentioning in my original review in the comment section that you didn't love. You prefer the Picotin because it does have feet to it, which I can completely understand because these bags tend to be made of lots softer, slouchy leathers that you want to protect the corners of. But if it's not a major turn off for you that this bag doesn't come with feet because you never put your bag on the ground, you usually have a chair for it, or you always rest it on something a little bit more cushy, then I think this is a great bag to add to your collection. Personally, it's not a bag for me, but if this is your cup of tea, I think you'll very much enjoy it. So for me, it is going to be an acquired taste bag. It does come in two different sizes, 18 and 20. I feel like I've been talking about the G.P.S bag, which is the next bag here, non-stop. I don't know why that is, or maybe it just feels like it because it's not a bag that we ever really discussed. And now recently with the introduction of the Mini Gypsy, which should be launching any day now, it's been put back on our radar. But it is a bag that I have definitely discussed in recent videos of mine. I think it is an incredible everyday bag, but do keep in mind that it is insanely heavy, not only physically in terms of weight, but in terms of what this will do to an outfit. You have all the hardware, you have the flap, you have the thick wide canvas strap. So it's definitely not one of those bags that is for the faint of heart. It is not for you if you want something really subtle and delicate. It is quite a robust bag, but I am always blown away by how much it actually adds to an outfit because of all these intricate details. So for me, it is one of those bags that is certainly an acquired taste. I don't think that it's going to be everyone's cup of tea, just like the In the Loop bag. But if you are looking for an easy grab and go everyday bag, it's one that you have to add onto your wish list. And I would suggest getting it pre-loved because it is quite an expensive bag to get directly from the boutique, which you wouldn't think just by looking at the prices on the pre-loved market. It's not necessarily a bag that holds its value well, but I would pick this bag up sooner rather than later before the first mini bag pops up on the pre-loved market, because as soon as that happens, the pre-loved market will take advantage of the fact that more people will become familiar with the idea of this. Finally, my most favorite bag from Hermes, it is going to be the Kelly bag. I am definitely a Kelly kind of guy. I know a lot of people love the Birkin. A lot of people's favorite bag is the Constance, which I can relate to, but to me, it is still a Kelly bag, and I'm talking about the entire Kelly franchise here. I would honestly choose almost any bag in the Kelly franchise, other than maybe a couple of them, over a Birkin bag, which if you guys would like to see a similar video, a ranking or reviewing video on the entire Hermes Kelly family, including the Kelly Pochette, the Mini Kelly, which is technically a Kelly bag, the Kelly Cut, the Kelly Dance, the Kelly Backpack, and the list goes on, let me know in the comment section. I would love to share my thoughts on every single one of these bags with you in a comprehensive video like this. But it pretty much goes without saying at this point, especially if you've been with me for a while, that the Kelly bag by Hermes is one of my most favorite Hermes bags. And then on the other end of the spectrum, my least favorite Hermes bag is going to be the Lindy, which if you know me, again, you won't be shocked to hear me say that it is definitely a pass for me. For me, it is just one of those bags that has way too much going on, and this bag to me just makes no sense. I don't love the little handles on the side, which are connected with this weird wide band. It just feels like, I think I have used an analogy before, but it does look like a straitjacket on a bag, or almost like a protective band that you were supposed to take off before you started using the bag. I don't like the little pocket on the side. I'm not a fan of the curved opening, which is more often than not on an angle when you're actually using this piece. It's something that a lot of my friends use and love, so I definitely have some first-hand experience with this bag, and it's just not one that I can ever get on board with. To me, similar to the garden party, it's a piece that just never adds anything to an outfit. Instead of it elevating an outfit, it tends to make it look just a lot more lazy. I think that's the best way of putting it. I know it's a controversial topic. I know many people love this bag, which if you do, continue enjoying it and loving it. We don't all have to love the same thing, and the Lindy bag is definitely not a piece that I personally love. We have already discussed pretty much everything that there is to know about the Picotin bag when we talked about the In the Loop bag, but if you're not familiar with this bag, it is, again, as most of Hermes' bags, pays tribute to the brand's equestrian heritage. It's a really simple bucket bag, which if that's what you're looking for, that's what this bag will do. It comes in 4 different sizes. It usually comes in a really soft grain skin like Le Mans. Some seasons they will do them in exotic, or they will add a fun twist to the bag, so they will maybe braid the handles, or they will release them with a touch handle, so you can find it in interesting unique finishes. But personally, to me, it's just an insanely casual bag. If you are into bucket bags, you will love this, and if you don't like the shape and style like me, it's not something that you will enjoy. But there's really nothing exceptional about this piece. A lot of people like it, which I can see why that is. It is definitely a really usable and enjoyable bag, which is on the more casual side. But personally, it is just one of those pieces that really has never rocked my world. It is going to be a controversial opinion because I know a lot of people are die-hard fans of this upcoming bag, which is going to be the Verrou bag, but it's personally not one that ever really worked for me. I bought this bag and I did an in-depth review on my Verrou 23. I think it comes in 2 different sizes, in a mini and then in a larger size, which is the one that I have. But to me, this bag is just not... There's really nothing about this that would justify the price. Obviously, it is beautifully put together, but the design is kind of lackluster. A lot of people tend to compare this to the Constance, which to me, these 2 bags are nothing alike. The only similarities are that they both have a shoulder strap and that they both have a large oversized metal closure, but I much prefer the Constance bag when it comes to the overall design. And I guess the other similarity that I could say is that they both kind of open up almost like a paper fan, but other than that, they are so different. They will add different facets to your collection. They will do different things for an outfit, and I find, believe it or not, the Verrou a lot harder to style and use. I don't know why that is, because the closure in theory should be really easy to use, but it's really not when you're actually out and about using this bag. But if you want to know more about this bag, I will have my review on the Verrou link down below for you. It's not a bag that I would really recommend. Maybe in the mini size it's a little better than it is in the larger size, just because the flap itself is so large and so hard to maneuver that maybe if the bag is smaller, it is something a little bit easier to get on with. It is a bag that sounds promising, but it's just not one that I personally would spend the money on. I would much prefer maybe even the Della Cavalleria over this bag. Even the Get-Up bag I think would be better than this. The Bolide in a smaller size, way better than this. So for me, believe it or not, the Verrou is just going to be one of those bags that I would really pass on. Is it as bad looking, or do I think it is as clunky as the Garden Party and the Lindy? No, it is not, but it definitely not adds nearly as much to an outfit as something like a Geta or even a Della Cavalleria bag would. Okay, so it wasn't intentional. I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't leave the worst bags to the end, but here we have another bag which I'm not a fan of. It's a bag that we talked about in my last What's New from Hermes video, which is the Steeple tote bag. It's an interesting idea, but it is not one that I think is worth your money. If you want to know more about this bag, I will have my What's New from Hermes video linked down below for you, where we discuss a lot more about pretty much everything that there is to know about this bag, which it isn't much. The only interesting element on this bag is the rider's crop inspired handles, which are truly like a piece of art, but the rest of the bag is nothing short of a nightmare. It is a bag that I wouldn't buy for $100, let alone for, I think this bag is like 3,500 euros or something along those lines. It does come in 2 different sizes in the weirdest, I don't use this often, but pretty ugly color combinations. It's just honestly a train wreck. When it comes to Hermes bags, this is the biggest train wreck that I have ever seen. So I don't think you will be shocked to see me put this in pass. I wish there was another line underneath it that said burn them all because this might be the worst Hermes bag that I have ever seen, and I have no idea who in their right mind would approve this design. Yes, it is based on an older design, but that doesn't make it any better. Just because something has a story doesn't make it a legit design that can be appreciated. So for me, this is one of those bags that was, I mean, I really have no idea how this fell through the cracks, because this is not one that Hermes should have wasted any time on. And last but not least, we're actually ending on a high note, which is going to be thanks to the Verrou Chaine bag. It's a bag that I really like. I have looked at this bag several times, and unfortunately I'm just not a chain kind of guy. I've never seen a bag with a chain that I was able to make work on myself. But if you're into chains, if you are looking for a crossbody bag that is insanely beautifully designed, this is definitely a good one to look into. And Hermes is launching it in some really fun new finishes for the upcoming season, where the hardware will actually match the body of the bag. I remember some of you comparing the fastening of this bag, which is inspired by the locks that you'll find on stable doors, to the lock that is on some public bathrooms, and I can kind of not unsee it, but believe it or not, it hasn't put me off of this bag. I understand why it would put you off of this bag, but I still love it. I just love the quality, I love the design, I love the idea. It is truly like a piece of art. It does not only come with a chain, but it also comes with, I think they did it in a white canvas strap, which is called the Verrou strap, and then it also comes in a larger size, a Verrou 21, which features a strap most similar to the Constance bag. But my favorite is the Verrou Chaine, and even though it's not something that I could personally pull off, it's something that I continue appreciating from the fall. I feel like I need a nap after this, because I can't believe we just ranked and reviewed 17 Hermes bags all in one video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and you got something out of it, because it definitely took it out of me. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And please let me know in the comment section your review on these bags. Do you agree with my review and my criticism? Do you disagree? Which ones are your favorite Hermes bags? Which ones are your least favorites? Is there anything else that I missed here that you would like me to include in a future ranking video? The comment section is open for you as always, but I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really soon.